Okay, let's continue part 2 of the study guide. So as you can see, I labeled my numbers down here by 3s because I looked at my X and 1, 3, 6, 12, I decided to use 3s. You don't have to. And then my Y, looking at it here, 5, 15, 30, 60, I knew I had to reach 60, so I did by 10s. And then you're going to plot, and then all you have to do is draw your arrow to show the relationship between X and Y. Find the area of the figure. This is a parallelogram. We know that it has parallel sides here and here, here and here. So for the area formula, it's just basically base times height. This is your base and this is your height going this way. So I'm going to be multiplying 7, which I got here from the base, times 14, which I got here from the height, and that equals 98. So for your answer, you need 98 inches, or whatever it may call, squared. Area is always squared. Make sure you use your units when you solve. Looking at this, looking for this figure, I have, generally it's a kite. There is no one formula for a kite. So we take the formula for a triangle and we kind of separate them to two separate triangles. I tend to go this way as one triangle, and then this is another triangle. And you can also go this way too. So this is triangle 1 and this is triangle 2. And the formula for a triangle, the area of a triangle is half times the base times the height. So let's look at 1, triangle 1. So for triangle 1, half, the area equals half times the base. The base is where it stands right here. And since it's 4 from here to here and 4 from here to here, we have to add 4 plus 4 to equal 8, which is 8. And my height is 4 centimeters from here to here, so I'm going to multiply by 4. I've explained to the students you generally want to use your parentheses first. There's a couple ways to do it, but let's look at this. So I'm going to do half. 8 times 4 is 32, and half of 32 is 16. So triangle 1 is 16 centimeters squared. Now I'm going to look at my larger triangle. This will be triangle 2. Same formula. So half times the base times the height, which equals half. It's the same base as triangle 1, so 4 plus 4 is 8. And the height is from here to here. So again, from here to here. If you're kind of looking at it like this, if this was a triangle, what would you do? And if you were looking at triangle 1, if this was a triangle, what would you do? So 8 times 7, and that equals half of 56, which equals 28. Now I'm going to add both of them. I'm going to add triangle 1 plus triangle 2. Triangle 1 was 16 centimeters, and triangle 2 was 28. So 16 plus 28 is 44 centimeters squared. Even if you split it the other way, where this is triangle 1 and this is triangle 2, you'll still get, you might get different area, but you're still going to get 44 centimeters squared. It doesn't change anything. So let's look at this composite figure. So this is a composite figure, just means that it's two figures infused to one. So I tend to break it apart right here, where this is a rectangle. So this is figure 1, and this is a trapezoid, figure 2. So my rectangle is, the area for a rectangle is base times height. Same thing as a parallelogram. Well, my base is 6.2. You know, it's not to scale. times 4.4 because my height from here to here is 4.4. So this is the height of the whole composite figure. You're only looking at the rectangle. That gave me, when I multiplied them together, 27.28. So the area for this is 27.28. Now I have to find the area for the trapezoid. The formula for a trapezoid is the area equals half the height multiplied by base 1, which is one of the bases, the bottom or the top, it doesn't matter, plus base 2. Okay, so now you're just going to start taking and kind of being a little detective and using the information you have here to figure out where's your height, where's your base, where's your base 1, base 2. It doesn't matter which is base 1 or base 2 because you're adding them together, and the property of addition tells us that that doesn't matter. So, half my height. Remember, my height for this trapezoid is only from here to here. So I have a distance of 6.2 from top to bottom minus my distance that I already used for my rectangle. So I'm going to do 6.2 minus 4.4. So 6.2 is the total amount, subtracting the area that we already found for this one. And that's going to give me 1.8. Okay, so my height is 1.8. Don't let decimals scare you. We've already done this. Base 1. Well, here's base 1. This is one base. It doesn't matter which one I use. 3.1. They gave me that. Plus base 2. Well, it doesn't tell me what the base is here, but if I look at the top, I do have the 6.2 here. This is the same size. So I know that this base is 6.2. And looking at this, now I have my problem. Now all I have to do is solve, okay? You want to do what's in the parentheses first. So you have half, 1.8 is the height. What's in the parentheses is 3.1 plus 6.2. That gave me 9.3, okay? A couple ways you can do this. You can either multiply these two together and then divide by half, or I like to just split one of the numbers. 1.8 is a very easy number to do in half, so I can get rid of this and make it 0.9. Half of 1.8 is 0.9 multiplied by 9.3. So 9.3 times 0.9, multiply that together, and that gives you 8.37. So the area of this is 8.37. Now I have to take the first area of the rectangle and the area of the trapezoid. So I have 27.28 is the area of the rectangle, plus, remember, line up decimals when you're adding. 9 plus 3. Okay? And that is of the trapezoid. So the composite figure together, adding them together, is 516 decimal. 15 and 1, 35. So 35.65 meters squared. A lot of work, a little bit of detective work, nothing that you can't do. You've done this before, so you have to be a detective, decompose the problem, slow down, take your time, look at them separately. Look at your trapezoid by itself, look at your rectangle by itself. All right. I'll hold this for a little bit so you guys can look at the work. Just pause it and copy down what I did. Replay it over and over again if you need to. I have a blank study guide on Remind. All right, it says write a positive or negative integer. So I'm looking for this. I'm looking for an integer. We know an integer is just basically a whole number, positive or negative, including 0. That represents the situation. You earned. If you earned $42, you have it. You've made it. So I'm going to circle that it's a positive integer, and I'm going to write 42. You don't have to put your plus sign. Just know the vocabulary. Borrowed, earned, have, debt, owe, receive. So just be very careful whether that's a positive or negative integer. Okay. Which temperature is colder? So negative 139 degrees Celsius or negative 136. It is negative 139 degrees Celsius. You're not sure? Draw a vertical number line, place your 0. The farther away, the colder it is. So think about if we had a snow day, so your negative 136 would be about here, and your negative 139 would be about here. If we had a snow day, remember like when we had, let's say, if it was negative 5 degrees, we didn't have a snow day, but then when it was negative 15 degrees, so the farther away it is from 0, the colder it is, then we would have a snow day. Okay, graph the number and its opposite. So when you're going to have a number and its opposite, you're going to have 0 in the middle, positive numbers, and negative numbers. So just generally put your 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Go ahead and graph your negative 3 and its opposite, which would be positive 3. Simple enough. Same for 2.1, negative 2.1. For this one, if you're not sure, go to whole numbers. So I'm going to do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. If you don't know how to, if you're not sure, don't feel comfortable with plotting decimals, this is the safest way to go. So go a little bit past positive 2, and that would be 2.1, and then a little bit past negative 2.1, and then that's it. So here's the number and its opposite. All right, greater than, less than, or equal to. Remember, the farther you are from 0, so this one you would have to find a common denominator. The closer you are to 0, the greater the number is, and the farther out you are from 0, the smaller the number is. So in this scenario, this would be greater, because this is the same as negative 4 and 4/6. 4 is closer to 0 than 5, so it's a greater number. 8.2 is closer to 0 than 9.4 in the negatives, so that's a greater number. This absolute value, go ahead and rewrite it. The absolute value of 4.9 is 4.9 with your negative. And then you have the absolute value of 5.2. Well, obviously a positive and a negative. This is going to be smaller. This is a negative 2.5 because the negative is on the outside. And this is a positive 2.1. So obviously positive is greater than negative. Find the absolute value of negative 44. Well, this just means that it's 44 hops, 44 away from 0. So it's a positive 44 because we have to move forward to get to 0. Absolute value of negative 72. Don't forget that the negative is on the outside. So that's 72. Bring the negative down with it. Absolute value of 6.94. Negative 6.94 is positive 6.94. That's just how far away you are from 0. And the absolute value of negative 3/5 is just 3/5. So I'm going to stop here, and then I'll start video number 3 for reflecting on the axis.